we first did the show with you, this is before Chiefs, it was before the conception of the show. It was right around, it was 2020, so it was right a few months after the first time the Chiefs played the 49ers in the Super Bowl, which feels like an eternity ago, but really, it was only 4 years ago.
Because a pandemic struck a few weeks later.
Yeah. But we've seen, I remember last year we talked about, after the Chiefs played the 49ers, we had the chat about, what we've seen from Mahomes, and one thing, and I've watched all these different morning shows and stuff and talking about how so much has changed with Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, we had Tyreek Hill back then, and the whole team has changed. The offense, the defense was kind of the struggle, the negative for the team. Now it's become the big plus for the team now. But just speaking on the quarterback specific thing, Steve, what have you noticed the kind of the evolution? How has Mahomes kind of evolved from what you've seen from 4 years ago to now, and what are you seeing from him?
Well, I think 4 years ago, he was still a relatively unknown commodity. Obviously, he had played extremely well in that season, played well in the Super Bowl, through the playoffs, the Super Bowl, the whole thing. I would say the difference is now, and I say this with what you mentioned about Tyreek being gone and others gone and bring new people in. He's making people better. He is that quarterback that's now, we can bring this guy in and Patrick's going to make him better. I would say that's probably the biggest difference is my guess. I mean, he, as I've said numerous times, he's still making throws that would have put us on the bench. Had we attempted to throw it like he does, we would have been put on the bench.
Immediately. Yeah,
exactly. Immediately. Yeah. No, he's really fun to watch and moving around and making runs and making people miss and jump up in the air when it looks like he's giving them a head fake and all, just doing all kinds of things. So he's fun to watch.
Well, I tell you, it's kind of interesting to kind of see how everything's just evolved to almost something like this, where you do have Patrick Mahomes able to do what he's doing, even Brock Purdy having some of the leeway that he's able to make throws and plays he's making with his legs and the decision makings, that they're just trusting these guys to be athletic. It's like, hey, look, use your IQ, but not only just the quarterbacks, but also to the receivers and the tight ends. We can do it because there's a lot of similarities, I think, with the Chiefs and San Fran, with you talking about Kelsey and Kittle, right?
Yeah.
Ayuk and Rashid Rice and Deebo. I mean, there's a lot of different weapons. Pacheco, you'll see him, CMC.
Yep.
So,
yep. I would agree, and I would say that obviously I have an affinity for number 13, so I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy's.
yeah. You should be. Yeah.
And a lot of those, what you mentioned of, him making plays with his legs, which is what you need to do as a quarterback. Find the open guy, throw him. You don't make plays with your arm. You get the ball to playmakers with your arm. You make plays with your legs. So he's doing that. And I would say really the only difference is that not that he's not making people better. I don't think he's at that stage of his career yet. Does that make sense? And that's not a knock. That's just
right.
And that's kind of why I said it about Patrick, because he's at that phase where he's making people better. Not that Brock's making people worse. He's not. He's accurate with the ball. He knows how to get the ball to people. My best example, and I've told this a number of times, this little story about him. Last season, preseason game, he's playing in the fourth quarter, And my wife walks by and she's like, why are you watching this game? It's in the fourth quarter. There's only a few minutes left to go in the game. I said, T-Bone, whoever this, I didn't really even know who he was. I said, this young man playing quarterback here knows how to play the position. He's taking this team with 4 or 5 minutes to go, moving the ball all over the field, taking them right down the field and scoring. Like this guy knows how to play the position. I can see it. So that's, but year and a half, almost 2 years later, he's starting in the Super Bowl and doing good things.
Yeah. Steve, let me ask you this, because, kind of watching him on film, I know we kind of talk about like Joe Montana, the great quarterbacks, obviously yourself that play there in San Fran. But, as we were saying, like the coaching tree, I would even bring up somewhat of like the daring or the courage of maybe like a Brett Favre in a sense, and I don't know, and sometimes I always known this, it's hard to use people's names with other guys. I don't want to compare him to that, but I'm just saying as far as maybe, the courage he has with some of the throws and plays he makes. What do you say on that?
Yes, I can see what you're seeing. I would say in the, doesn't have Brett's arm.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Of course.
But has Brett's football IQ and the confidence to stick a ball in a window.
Yes.
Before the guy's even there, but confident in his arm and his accuracy and his ability to know where people are going to be. That I would absolutely say yes. Brett might stick it in a couple seconds later, but because it got there a lot faster. But honestly, Brock, he sees things developing and has like I said, a confidence and in his accuracy and his reading of defenses to do that very well.
Yeah, that's what kind of struck me a little bit. Just kind of seeing it. Obviously, we like I said, I always want to caution using guys and compare them.
I hear you.
We don't want to do that because we know he's not there yet. But when you see a young guy getting in, and maybe like you said, maybe he's the way he's analyzing it, right? His football IQ, how he's seeing it, anticipation of things. Is kind of what I do see with him. So
I would completely agree with that.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.